Alright guys, the second part of today's lesson is you are actually going to be using Pythagorean theorem to find distance between 2 points. So right now guys, I'm actually going to delete this out so you can see how to do this to start with. Okay, the very first thing that I want you to do is to plot the 2 points. So plot 1, 5 like I have, and plot -4, -2 on this coordinate plane. Okay, after you have those plotted, what we're actually going to do to see if we can use Pythagorean theorem to help us to find a distance is we are actually going to draw a right triangle. So draw that straight line, vertical line, and draw another horizontal line. And we're going to connect it right now to form that hypotenuse. If you can see, this is almost a direct application of slope, right, with the rise and the run. But we're going to use and connect that to Pythagorean theorem right now. So if I count how long this line is, how many blocks it is, it's going to be 7 blocks. Well, that makes sense because -2 minus 5, if I squared that, that'd give me 7. All right, and if I take a look at the bottom part, whoops, sorry about that. If I look at the bottom part, I'd have the difference between -4 and 1. So if I take a look at that, that does give me -5. However, distance is always positive, so that's 5 spaces. The other way that I can get that is just by counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces. All right, since these are the legs, we're going to be checking to see what our hypotenuse is right now. So we're going to do 5 squared plus 7 squared equals x squared. 5 squared is 25. 7 squared is 49. And we're going to solve this like we would a normal Pythagorean theorem problem. So 25 and 49 is going to give me 74. And remember, square root it. So the square root of 74 is approximately 8.6. So the distance between those 2 points is like our hypotenuse. So the distance between the 2 points is about 8.6 units. Let's do the same thing down here. I've plotted -2, -3, and -5, +1. So take a moment right now and plot those 2 points. After you're done plotting those points, let's form a right triangle out of it. Okay, so I'm going to go and start with this point and make a vertical line till I get level with that one. Then I'm going to connect these 2 points together to make myself a little right triangle. Okay, so now that I did that, we're going to count up blocks to see what the 2 lengths are. All right, so if I look at this block right here, it looks like I've got 1, 2, 3 units on the bottom. And then for this one, it looks like I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 units. I'm trying to figure out what the distance is, so that's my unknown. All right, so if that looks like Pythagorean theorem, I've got the legs of 3 squared plus 4 squared equals x squared. 3 squared is 9. 4 squared is 16. 9 and 16 do give me 25. But remember, I need to square root it. So the correct answer for that is 5. So the correct distance between those 2 points would be about 5 units. All right, let's take a look at another type of problem. This is a popular PSSA question. It says, a pipe connects the points A and B in the figure shown below. How many units long is the pipe? All right, so if I connect this, so I'm going to try and do this as neatly as I possibly can. I'm going to draw this vertical line to get level with point A. And again, you can make your right triangle a bunch of different ways, but you want to make sure that you're using a vertical line and a horizontal line. You could have connected it the other way too, and it still will work. Okay, but here's my right triangle. All right, I'm going to count up the blocks for my legs. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So take a moment to do some Pythagorean theorem to find that missing length. So you're going to do 4 squared plus 5 squared equals x squared. 4 squared is 16. 5 squared is 25. All right, so 16 and 25 is going to give me 41, which equals x squared. And then square rooting to solve for the missing distance. Square root of 41 is approximately 6.4 units. Let's take a look and see what our answer choices are to see which one is the correct. Ah, look, they even have the square root of 41. That's a better answer. So we didn't have to approximate anything. So the correct answer for this is the square root of 41, which is what I had right here. All right, the next thing I'd like you guys to do is to try these two on your own to find the distance between those 2 points. So again, pause the video, take some time to try those two out, and see if you can come up with the correct answers. All right, guys, the last part of the lesson answers are up on the board. If you take a look, I plotted both of those for you and actually drew the right triangles so that you could see the missing legs. So if you look at number 4, if you look at how I plotted those and connected with the right triangle, this length is 2 blocks, this one is 9, so the legs would be 2 and 9. This one is 3, and this one is 4. So again, plugging in the Pythagorean theorem, on the first one, you got 2 squared plus 9 squared equals x squared. Solving and get an answer of approximately 9.2. On the other one, you've got 3 squared and 4 squared. That's set equal to x squared. Simplifying and solving down, you get an answer of x equals 5. So if you think about both of the different concepts from today's lesson, you first had the converse of the Pythagorean theorem, which then, remember, was checking to see if there was a right triangle. So if you look back, you tried to find whatever the biggest side was, you plugged all the numbers in, and then you checked to see if it was a right triangle or not. If the two numbers did not equal one another, it was not a right triangle. If the two numbers did equal one another, it was a right triangle. The other part of today's class was finding the distance between 2 points using the Pythagorean theorem. So again, after you plot your points, you draw your right triangle to find the missing legs, and then you're going to use those legs to connect to find the distance, which is in fact our hypotenuse each time. So again, take some time right now, review your lesson, and then wait for some more instructions to see what next activity you will be working on. Thanks and see you soon!